And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We always like to educate, entertain, and engage with you, and we love it. It really makes my day when I hear from you as a listener. Maybe you're on our podcast or YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Realty, but it really makes my day when you call our hotline and you ask questions and you engage with us and you really support our local area business owners. It really makes my day, and it just means the world to me when you support the show. 813-917-1894. All you have to do is call that hotline. 80 different categories of experts that can help you. So just think about us as your consumer advocate during your daily walk in life. We're here to help. You know, we've got attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, title company, all types of great expert contributors that come on the show, and we vetted, and they're great people. And you know, it's the local economy too. So we're supporting that parallel local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show at 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. brhymes@kw.com if you want to submit an email, brhymes@kw.com. Don't spam me either, though. All right, so we got Jennie Restrepo in the house, Insured Title Agency. Give us a little teaser of what we're going to talk about today.
Oh, so many things. Of course, I'm bringing some new true crime stories about fraud in our area, fraud that's affecting the real estate industry here in Tampa Bay, real people, real files that have come through our office. A quick reminder about homestead exemptions if you purchased a home last year. And then we're going to tell you about something that's super exciting and amazing that we're bringing back that we haven't done in about 3 years. So
excellent.
Very excited to talk to that.
Awesome.
Too.
Excited to be a part of that. We got attorney Jason Coble coming up as well. Coble Law. We're going to get an update from him against some of his different cases going on. He's got a case against fake news CNN going on right now, defamation case, and some pretty cool stuff happening here locally. So we got a great lineup. Also, I got a clip I'm going to play of Donald J. Trump, China buying up our country, one of his latest messages through Truth Social. So, hey, it's another great lineup for you today. Our feel-good story is awesome, too. Father donates his own kidney to a stranger after his teenage daughter was saved by a transplant. Coming up in our feel-good story of the day. Now, we always like to feature our real estate listings live on air, maximize the exposure, 80 outlets worldwide, thousands of listeners every day. So if you're selling a property, you're leaving money on the table by not listing with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We got a hot listing here at 1991 Orange Court in Dunedin. This is a beautiful property, a large home. It's an executive style home. You've got a pool, fenced-in yard, screened-in lanai, oversized heated pool, 2881 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, gorgeous kitchen that has been updated. 1991 Orange Court, Dunedin, Florida. It's on a cul-de-sac road, so it's a great opportunity for a family or whatnot to move there and enjoy Pinellas County. Beautiful property in Pinellas County. Now, we also have another property development opportunity. Attention builders, developers, 2817 Gulf City Road in Ruskin. This is 23 acres on the Little Manatee River. Imagine building on this 23 acres, townhomes, apartments. Imagine the money you're going to make and the return on your investment. 2817 Gulf City Road in Ruskin, Little Manatee River, bay access, and you've got the dolphin-filled waters and sugar sand beaches right around the corner. But you're out there fishing. People love that Ruskin area, that Apollo Beach area, because it's a direct shot out into the deep waters where you're catching grouper and all types of great fish. Prime development opportunity, Gulf City Road, Ruskin, and you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's right. Raising our glass to those saving our ass overseas. Shout out to Cole Swindell, and I love that song, and we love our veterans too. Do you guys have special incentives for veterans also over there?
We definitely do have special incentives for veterans, and of course we work with all of the different lending programs that are available to veterans, like VA loans, Hometown Heroes. So if a client brings any of those programs to us, we've worked with them before, we know exactly how to handle them. And, of course, we honor our veterans. And personally, I'll say this is her first year as a Girl Scout, so her first Girl Scout cookie season.
Cool.
And if you are trying to not eat all those cookies, you can donate a box of Girl Scout cookies to the troops.
I'll buy a box, and I'm going to eat the box.
Okay.
All right. Maybe I'll donate a box, too.
Okay.
But there's a couple good ones I really like. The ones that have the peanut butter in them, with the chocolate. Oh, those are so good. I forgot the name of them.
She's so excited. She was dialing for dollars, is what I called it. Cold calling, like, friends and family the other day.
I love it.
And I was helping her through it. And, like, she was doing an awesome job. I'm like, look, you made, like, 6 phone calls, and look at all the sales that you made.
I love that. That's so cool. I remember, Jim Rohn, the great Jim Rohn, motivational speaker, and he's Tony Robbins' mentor. He has a great story about a girl door knocking him and asking him, and he said he was flat broke at the time, and he literally couldn't buy Girl Scout cookies, and he felt so bad because the Girl Scout's like, "Are you sure, sir? Do you want just one box?" And he just felt bad, But that was like a low point for him. I think that's such a key point for entrepreneurs, business owners. I mean, we've all been there, right? You have, especially if you're going on your own, you're solo, you're self-employed, and you don't have that corporate backing or whatever it is. It's like sometimes you're putting stuff on credit cards that you shouldn't be, or you have those low points. But that just kind of jogged my memory though of the sweet little girl asking him to buy some cookies, and he just couldn't do it. He said, "No, I can't." Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's a lesson to learn as well. It's teaching her so many skills about representing her business. She's wanting to reach her goals, communication. She took her Girl Scout order form to school, and she's got orders from all the teachers because even though she's only in 2nd grade, she knows all of the teachers in the school. She asked the vice principal. Like she's a go-getter, and I love that. I support that.
Yeah, that's super cool. Great training.
Next generation entrepreneur.
That's right. You got to be willing to ask for the business if you want it. We're talking with Jennie Restrepo here, Insured Title Agency, longtime friend of the program. I love the kind of the teaser there, true crime. I mean, we see this happen. We see it happen. We hear the stories, through the Keller Williams organization. We hear different stories that kind of reverberate. But let's jump into that. So seller fraud. So this is where somebody's maybe posing as the seller,
Correct.
Claiming that they're the asset owner, but they're not, trying to trick people along the way to get to its closing and then ultimately get the wire sent and then take the money.
Correct. And this is not a victimless crime. And a lot of times we hear true crime and then we hear national stories. And so it's easy to kind of put that off like, that's not happening in my neck of the woods. But I am here to tell you, I have 3 true crime stories, true stories happening here in the Tampa Bay area.
Wow.
One, we ended up stopping in its tracks back in August. It was a deal coming through our title company, so it went to Insured Title. The buyer made the escrow deposit. The buyer wanted to walk the property. When he went to the property, the tenants living there asked, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" Mm-hmm. And he said, "Oh, I'm buying this house." And through that conversation, found out that the actual owners were not in New York. They were in Texas. Yeah. The tenants got us in touch with the real owner. The real owner said, "Absolutely not, I'm not selling." Then our underwriters advised that the real owner execute a cancellation of contract. But you may think like, okay, but at some point the real person has to present him or herself with identification, right? You can take it as far as you can take it, but then at closing, any closing situation, an ID must be presented. But if you think about it, the entire transaction, the buyers obviously have no idea.
Right.
So the buyers, if it's a home or if it's vacant land, are paying for things.
Yeah, and surveys, inspections.
Inspections, and even if the escrow deposit can clearly be refunded, there's still time and effort and energy and money that has gone down the line just to find out at the end of the day that this is fraud.
Yeah.
So the latest one got all the way down to the survey. So this one was for vacant land. This just happened.
Wow.
And the listing agent that sent it to us has worked with us for years. She's been in the business, so she's not a brand new agent, but she spoke to a person on the phone. Our title staff spoke to a person on the phone. This person represented himself by the correct name and address of the owners of record and public record. And as we started going down the line with it, the buyers were paying cash, but they wanted a survey because there appeared to be a shed encroaching on the lot. When the survey company went out, same situation. Tenants asked questions, got them in touch with the property owner. The property owner knows the real owners.
Right.
Those people own the house next door and the lot, so it doesn't matter if their shed encroaches on their own land. Mm-hmm. And so that one, stopped before it went past any further than that, but buyers paid for survey. Buyers had money in escrow. Right. Buyers were, of course, very upset because wanted this land. And luckily we didn't close, so this fraudster did not receive the money. But at the end of the day, they don't care. They're probably working 4, 5, 10 scams at a time. And so one's going to hit. But this
Let me ask you about the accountability, though. Are you able to track them somehow?
Who is this person?
You can't find them, right?
Here's exactly what happened.
It's over the internet. It's over the phone.
It's over the phone. It's digital signatures. And it is not a standard practice. And Brandon, you can confirm this.
Yeah.
If you speak with a person on the phone who wants to list with you, and they have the right information, and they digitally sign your listing agreement, did you ask for an ID?
Right.
And that's not just Brandon. That's not an industry standard procedure.
Right.
It's probably going to be pretty soon.
It's something that we're looking at, and it's happened to people that I know. So it's a challenging time, and it's very frustrating. And I just wish there was a way to catch these people, but that's part of the challenge. That's how Matt Cox, American Greed, the gentleman we had on our show.
Matt Cox actually went as far as getting fake IDs.
Straw buyers, right?
He was recording fake deeds transferring ownership from Brandon Rhymes to a name of an ID that he had that he made up.
Right. So straw buyer. So he made a straw buyer, basically. Straw basically means a fake person.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Yes. And it was very sinister the way that he did it. He would go to the Social Security office and claim that there was a baby born at home, not in a hospital, and all this stuff. Yeah. Yes.
Man.
But back in Matt Cox's day, so anybody that hasn't heard these earlier stories, this is the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Back in Matt Cox's day, a human person had to present him or herself to the title company.
Right.
There was no remote signings or anything like that. So he actually had to get people, which he preyed upon single moms. He had to get people to be these people with these fake IDs. Now, so I'll walk you through how this guy thought he was going to get this done. And it's not a bad scam, actually. And so this is a public service announcement. Right. Buyers beware, sellers beware, owners of vacant land beware, because it seems like vacant land is the newest target, because there's not an inspection, there's not a house on it. It's an easier target, and it's a lower price point, so people are paying less attention.
Could be.
It's harder to scam $1 million house because that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
A $15,000 piece of land, I mean, yes, we're doing the same due diligence, but...
Sure.
If they've got 10 in the fire at one time and one hits, $15,000 is $15,000.
Sure.
So this is how he was going to do it. As soon as we got the information from the rightful owners and verified that they were the rightful owners and that this person was a scamster, we wanted to see how was he going to get this done. So we just started asking questions. Well, sir, okay, we're going to need to see a copy of your ID. Oh, well, I'm an over-road trucker, so I'm not able to come into the office. I live in New York, all these things. We're that's fine. Text us a picture of your ID.
Right. Oh, I have a flip phone.
Well, when you come to closing, you're going to have an ID. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm an over-the-road trucker, so, I'm not in Florida. And we're that's okay. We can send a mobile notary to you anywhere that you are, even if you're in a foreign country. Mm-hmm. And then his response was oh, I was just going to have you send me the paperwork. I was going to get it notarized and send it back to you. So he either has someone who's a notary that's in on the scam, or he has just a fake notary stamp because
which you can buy online.
You can buy online. I mean, you can fake anything and scam anything nowadays. So that's what he was going to do. And oftentimes, a seller package is just a few pieces of paper. So it's not unheard of for someone to just get their own notary. I mean, you could go to your bank where you bank and have a document notarized.
Yeah.
Typically, we'll schedule a mobile notary with a reputable company that we've worked with before, and then that person is the person that goes out and handles the administers the closing. But it's not unheard of for a person to obtain their own notary because we have a sense of safety that a person with a notary stamp is commissioned by the governor of the state of the stamp.
Right.
And so they're supposed to be a reputable person that wouldn't commit a crime.
Wow.
But like you said, if you have a fake notary stamp, So that's how he was going to do it. Luckily, we stopped that one.
Stopped him in his tracks. Jennie Restrepo, Insured title agency here in Tampa Bay. Seller fraud, talking about true crime. So talking about local crime, I want to talk about a worldwide global crime right here before we hit the next break here. So this is a clip I found this morning from a podcast I listened to. This is our real president, Donald J. Trump.
China is buying up our country, while corrupt Democrats and rhino-type politicians in Washington have been spending trillions of dollars on the Green New Deal nonsense, foolish foreign wars, and providing lavish benefits to illegal aliens from all over the planet. China has been spending trillions of dollars to take over the crown jewels of the United States economy, and they are doing that. China is buying up our technology. They're buying up food supplies. They're buying up our farmland. They're buying up our minerals and natural resources. They're buying up our ports and shipping terminals. And with the help of a corrupt influence peddlers like the Biden crime family, China is even trying to buy up the pillars of the U.S. energy industry.
True story. True story. It's happening. You got trillions of dollars. Look at the new money that's been printed over the last 4 or 5 years. 80%, I've heard it said as high as 80% of the dollars in circulation is new dollars. Come on, guys. Let's think about this. Trillions of dollars. Do we really need to print and manufacture all that money? It's laundry. It's federal laundry. And then you look at laundry. And if you look at the climate cult, I mean, look at sea level rise was supposed to happen in 2000. It hasn't happened. No, then it was 2020. Hasn't happened. Miami, last I checked, I went to Miami. You still go to the beach and you still have a good time. So, yeah, that's what's going on in the real world there in the national politics, and it's unbelievable that these folks can get away with it so long. We're going to leave it there. We're going to come back here more with Jennie Restrepo, Insured title agency, on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to dive more into some seller fraud, homestead exemption. What does the homestead exemption mean? How can you port your homestead as well? That's another important thing to think about and learn and understand, and make sure your real estate agent understands that as well. More with Jennie Restrepo, Insured title agency, on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're a top 100 ranked real estate team. We always feature our listings live on air, also help our sellers profit more, sell faster. We got a property at 37351 Neighbors Path in Zephyr Hills. We just did a price reduction on this home. It's a large home, almost 3,500 square feet, 6 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. You got a mother-in-law suite, a large yard. It's over an acre of land, 1.2 acres. Stone countertops, granite countertops, beautiful stainless steel appliances, white cabinetry, and it's a great opportunity to own real estate in Pasco County, 37351 Neighbors Path in Zephyr Hills, Florida. I also have a property at 1641 El Terre Trail. This is a listing from the Platinum MVP team on El Terre Trail. Now, this is 55 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, completely updated, completely renovated, beautiful home with new quartz countertops, got an open floor plan, vaulted ceilings, screened lanai with a built-in hot tub. Beautiful property at 1641 El Terre Trail in Clearwater. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Jennie Restrepo in the house. Coming up, attorney Jason Coble as well. So, Jennie, let's jump right into this homestead exemption portability. We've got a few minutes left here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes. Homestead exemption, just for anybody who's not clear on what that is, it is the property tax reduction option for a homesteaded property, so meaning your primary residence. If you purchased a primary residence last year, or you sold a primary residence last year to purchase a new primary residence, then the window to apply for homestead exemption is now. It ends March the 1st. Your application can be submitted online at the property appraiser website for the county where the property is located, but it doesn't happen automatically. So if you sold your primary residence in Hillsborough County last year, and then you bought a brand new property that will now be your primary residence, it doesn't automatically happen that your homestead exemption transfers.
Right.
You have to make that application. And you're only allowed to have this type of exemption on one property at a time. That's why it's only applicable for a primary residence.
Yep, homestead exemption.
So if you, let's say you purchased a brand new homesteaded property last year, and this, because taxes are paid in arrears, meaning at the end of the year instead of at the beginning, then if you closed on your house anytime here January 2023, you're going to wait until 2024.
Okay.
So this is only January 1st to December 31st of 2022. So if you closed during that window last year, then you can now apply for that homestead exemption that will be reflected on your tax bill at the end of this year.
Right.
And that's especially important if you bought a property that you are now homesteading that was not homesteaded by the prior owner, because it's going to adjust your tax liability.
Right.
So if you bought but you didn't sell anything, or you didn't have a homesteaded property, or you're new to Florida, then you're simply going to go to your property on the property appraiser website, and there's a little button that says homestead exemption. Go right through there. You fill out the information. It is going to ask you for some of your personal information, because they're verifying that you are you, and that only one person can have it at one time. And so if you're a married couple, then you can only homestead one property, because it's assumed that you have a marital home.
Right.
Okay, so that you do it all through the website, make that application. You should get a confirmation that it's all done, and then the homestead exemption will apply when your tax bill is due in November of this year, 2023.
Yeah.
If you had a primary residence already with a homestead exemption, and you sold that property and you're now living in a new property that's your homesteaded property, you can what they call port over your homestead exemption. Mm-hmm. So it's portability, or porting your homestead exemption from your former property to your new property. And the reason that you would even do all of that is because it will reduce that overall tax liability by porting over from the one house to the next.
Yeah. And the way I understand it, too, is it should keep you at or near that same tax basis. So if you sold a property for $350 and you bought a property over here in Pinellas maybe for $550, I believe you should be able to keep that $350 tax basis. Look, we got to double check. We double check the detail on that, but I think that's the way it works, that portability. So it's a cool thing that we have here in Florida. Again, absence of a state income tax. There's a lot of advantages that we have, of course, here in Florida. In the affordability factor, low inventory still. The market is still low. I carry these stats with me all over the place, but if you look at the actual numbers on the inventory, we're still around like a 1.5 month supply of inventory.
And I just saw an Instagram post that said Zillow is reporting that home prices are staying or increasing here in Tampa.
Right.
So, we talk national news and the housing market and the interest rates and all these things, and it's good to know that. But do know that Florida, and especially our Tampa Bay area, do not follow trend. And so when you're trying to make that decision about whether it's the right time to buy, look for local news.
Yep. Work with that local economist of choice, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Jennie Restrepo, always a pleasure. Thank you for those true crime stories.
Check us out on all the socials at Insured Title Agency.
Awesome. All right. Good stuff. Coming back with attorney Jason Coble. Coble Law, we're going to catch up with him on all types of cases that he's working and some national news as well. Coming up later, a feel-good story. Father donates his own kidney to a stranger. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.